No, I don't want to wait your fucking app. Bloody Streamlabs controller. Anyways, in we go. Part 17. Guerrilla Fortress. As it were. Last time we made it to Guerrilla and then my back fucking hurt. I'm gonna actually see if I can adjust the C a bit more. Try and position myself as well. There we go. So, since we're here in Guerrilla, we are tasked with just walking around as the joint exercise is yet to begin. I remember the map, but there we go. So, basically talk to every NPC with a red exclamation mark, and also go to the different areas where other people happen to be located. And I'm actually just gonna check my... Turn the background music a little bit lower from my end because that's a bit on the loud side. Oh, pardon me. Over here is taking a bit of a rest, but to be fair, it is a military fortress. There's a lot to it. There's a small black shadow. Yeah. Ween has a very high perception when it comes to this this stuff. Good news, we know what that shadowy thing is. It was Celine, and Emma sent her back when they landed in Keldic. So good news on that end. We don't have to deal with a cat running around. That would probably not end well. Laura and V are just standing in the middle here for some reason. Laura ponders about the teachings her father gave, while Fee just notices the the amount of training that these soldiers have had. Which, to be fair, this is one of the more guarded parts of Arabonia, considering we're situated right next to Crossbell, which is also right next to Calvert. So, Lieutenant General Walter, commander of Guerrilla Fortress. Yeah. Well, I don't fear getting choked by this particular Walter. So he can be like, military training, blah 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 blah. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel because a former bracer is teaching. Yeah, tell that to LaBelle's military. Oh, one of your top guys was a former bracer? That means your army's full of shit. And you know what? I'm pretty sure quite a few Arabonians would probably be like, no one else's military is worth it. Ours is truly the best one. And be all dumb like that. A level of stress and all that will always occur, but yeah, command center we're not allowed in, but that makes sense. I don't want a student knowing anything that they shouldn't be knowing, obviously. Though, to be fair, one member of Class 7 is part of the intelligence division, so being tight-lipped about it, would probably be for the best. Talking to Sarah, she'll mention about the whole thing with Toval. I actually will explain what they are. They're machines, before I muck it up too badly. Mainly used by Ouroboros, a society of evildoers. Please ignore all the ones that have left and are actually good guys. So for Ween, this is the first time he'll learn of Ouroboros. For a returning player to the series, we are not surprised at all that Ouroboros have some level of involvement. In fact, we already met an enforcer in Blue Blanc. So obviously, at this point in time, a few members of Ouroboros are busy doing shit in Crossbell. Outside of that, pretty much no need to know much about anyone else in the Ouroboros other than, like, yeah, there's the ones in Crossbell, there's Blue Blanc, and he just does whatever the fuck he desires to, really. And that's really it. That's it. That's all we need to know about Ouroboros members for the moment. I believe I'm heading the wrong way. Yeah, I'm heading the wrong way. Because you can't go in there. Oh, that's not Turbo. This is Turbo. Right, okay, we need to go to the motor pool, and I believe there's this bit over here. Landing pads for the airships. Sensible aspect. And Primachius are over here, looking on at the horizon. Oh yeah, they were just from Jewel. They just been to Jewel. Oh no, can't gamble here in a military base. No. I'm sure there's ways to gamble stuff like your Russians. Offices, entertainment district. Yeah, I think the thing is, Jewel may look happy under the Imperial government's control, but that's just probably a surface level thing. Crow knows a lot more about what happened in Jewel than the others here. Yeah, it's a complicated issue for sure. Because it's like, because at the end of the day, it's land that was once not part of a place, now is part of a place. Politics will always be a mess in an area like Jewel. It just will be. It's like the places that didn't want to get annexed by, like, the Soviets initially during the Cold War, and then corruption and influences or rigging the elections and all that meant that, oh, now they are. And it's like, oh, there were people that definitely weren't happy about that. There were people that weren't happy that America tried to make them more democratic in some cases. Elliot is a bit hesitant about all of this because, well, to be fair, he doesn't really want to be in the military, so. And Alyssa's not too happy about seeing Wife and Company tanks, but to be fair, Wife and Company are pretty much the main developer of everything that here, so what can you do? It's good to have a conscience, though. It means you understand what it means. To understand is that what I'm trying to say is that it means you can understand whether you're making a decision that you feel is not just a case of are you right or are you wrong. You're making an informed decision based off of what would be best in terms of various other aspects. Like, in terms of defending Erebonia, these tanks are advanced enough where they'll be able to repel a good level of opposition. If a clash was, if a war was going to occur, these tanks are better than some of the hardware cavalry's using. So it automatically means that they may not actually attack because it works as a deterrent. It's like in the real world with nukes. When there was only like one or two nukes, it did work as a deterrent because it's like, yeah, okay, we shouldn't cross those people. They could actually obliterate us. Now that there's too many nukes, it doesn't work as much of a deterrent because it's basically just, oh, I'm going to end the world first. No, I'm going to end the world first. As two people start inching closer to a red button. It doesn't work like that though. It really. Gaius now has to understand just how big the Imperial Army has to do stuff. And Eustace thinks it's too big as well. It's fair enough. Do we need this much defense against crossbow? No. Do we need this much defense against Calvid? Possibly. And Milliams have said we can't see the railway cannons from this side. Even though Milliam already saw it, and Milliam really wants to see the tower in crossbow. Orcus Tower, to be precise. At this present moment, many people are in Orcus Tower doing the whole trade conference thing, including Tower. So maybe I should go back and do the crossbow games at some point with this dumb spinning wheel malarkey. Anyway, we did the talking this, and I believe I need to just walk around until the game goes. Okay, that's it. Yeah, there we go. Good, I figured that out. I repeat, all of you Class 7 people, get into a fucking vehicle to get to the exercise ground. We can turn mode this because it's just a drive over. I don't think the insides of vehicles like that are designed to be practical. It's designed to be able to handle combat. So wait, yeah, they should be practical. What am I saying? Obviously they're not intending for an entire boatload of people to be inside of one. Probably at most like 3 or 4. But can fit more in case it needs to. That sort of logic. Welcome to the military training ground. Class 7 will be situated underneath that canopy, which is great news. They won't be getting cancer while watching these tanks. Okay, and I'm not going to do that. Ugh. Right. And it is here that, outside of what Elliot has told us earlier parts of the game, we finally get to see Craig the Wed. And you can tell where Elliot has gotten some of his features from. And these must be Class 7. And then immediately all immersion is ruined because Elliot, my boy, so good to see you again. Yeah, because Lieutenant General Craig the Wed understands that sometimes a good hug is nice. And why would you? What would be so bad about embracing your family when you see them? Well, and it just means, really, to be fair, it just means that while he obviously has the demeanor that allows him to command an army a portion of the army quite well, he also is soft in heart for his kids. Which is nice, you know. In fact, simulated battle between 4th Armoured Decision cards. So it's showing how the armoured regiments work in tandem with all the other aspects to be able to deal with stuff. Now, although to be fair, their targets are the 5th Division lower tech spec models that haven't been used for a while. 1400 hours. How formal with the time. Be like if I said, you're watching this stream at 0903 hours. Just to show what time of day I'm streaming this in. So a live exercise where they don't have to worry about getting blown up, but Fifth and 4th Armoured Division tanks. Kaboom. So we're through all this as it's just a bunch of explosions essentially. Well, at least now they understand that maybe if battle has to occur, not getting... positioning yourself in front of a tank with a sword isn't necessarily the best idea. It doesn't matter how strong you are in terms of using said weaponry, a billion tanks is still a billion tanks. I don't think even a Defiant Blade could handle too many tanks. Which would explain, sure. Wayne starts having a heart attack. I joke, of course, he isn't actually having a heart attack, but he feels it in his chest. Maybe those Russians do not agree with him. I concur. I wouldn't want to eat that. I wouldn't want to eat the cheese either. We did it. We blew up all the old model tanks. Woo! It's now night. There's a train going through. We'll just cut our way through that a little bit. Back in the cafeteria. Someone wanted to shoot their shot at Sarah. Fair enough. I don't blame them. Have the guts to do that. If I had the guts to do that, I certainly wouldn't waste my chances. I just know that I wouldn't actually try. I have no whiz, as one would say. I have no bitches. I am maidenless. That sort of thing. I really need to actually understand why people got into From Software games. Maybe that brick wall is no longer much of a threat once you bash your way through it. Everyone's so gloomy. They are correct. At the end of the day, in education, most parts of education don't really matter in the event of war itself. If you're just going to be a guy with a gun in the middle of a trench somewhere in a field in part of France, it's not going to really matter that you knew how to draw a lovely picture. I love how this little man calling like, I don't see a place for swords. Meanwhile, even all the way into the distant future of Kira no Kiseki, you've got your main characters not just hopping into these things to go blow up whichever villain happens to be doing villainy shit. So, because JRPG. And in JRPGs, normally, if you are hopping into mechs all the time, or tanks, or whatever advanced weaponry that happens to be, then it would be a different type of setting, or it's the whole, we're starting to modernize quite a bit, but pretty much all the main characters, both good and bad, still use traditional weaponry, as well as whatever form of magic we have. Physical fitness training, whoopee! We get to see the railway guns, yay! Maybe we'll see them fire at Orca's tower, like in the prologue. Oh, this is a good thing a good lesson to teach us that the Ereborian Empire has a very strong military, and that war is not a nice thing. Ideally, it just doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, you're at a military academy. Most of you are going to join the military by that logic, even if it's a non-combat role. Because you know, you get your engineers and your more behind the scenes people that obviously they're not going to be in the thick of it all the time. But you know, the hell, that's even reserves. You could end up being a reserve. There's plenty of places in the military for even the less physically abled. Abled in terms of just pure muscle mass. Because yeah, some people have a weird view of what a military person is meant to look like sometimes. Woo! These engineers did their job. Ah, the Orborn net. They are lamenting that Crosswell has more use of it, but to be fair, you've got the IBC there where it's like, hey, here's literally a boatload of money. You've got fucking TO Plateau accessing it on a daily basis. However, someone sends orb mail to them to use the Orbinet to order these guys to do more stuff. 20 accents with C units. Well, a long night ahead for those engineers aside. And it is getting stuffy in here. I'm going to open a window. Oh. Right. There is a save point here that you can do. Go and control it. I recommend saving just to make sure, because we're about to enter combat. Well, we're going to be entering combat. We've got a bit more cutscene malarkey to do first and foremost, but then combat. Welcome to day 2 of being at Gorelia. The engineers have outfitted these actions with stuff. Meanwhile, Crossbell's stateside, where yeah, okay, so the cliff isn't completely vertical, but it's not ideal as a way to invade. Like, you just take the bridge out and it's like, well, shit, we're gonna have to use airships. Of course, all the conference stuff is going on in Crossbell. After a bunch of physical fitness stuff that we don't get to see, we get to have more information on the Imperial Liberation Front. At the moment, it looks like a bunch of them are in Crossbell at the moment, looking to try and do something. They don't know what exactly. And they're teaming up with the Calvary Republic cell of terrorists for some supposed plan of some kind. This plan involves trying to do something at Orca's tower and failing horribly. We'll just put it like that. But they don't succeed at what they were trying to do. Crow calls Millium a short stack, and I'm now going to curse sweat it for a bit. They have airships. There's a chance of it being a feigned plan to be like, oh, we're totally doing something in Crossbow, guys, don't worry. And then, like, suddenly, like, actually, no, we're now doing something over here. As per, like, what was revealed to us, yes, they are doing something over here, but no. Anyway, this man here, who, this is the last we'll see of Gideon's face, unfortunately. Spoiler alert in Ashore! He's one of the many Imperial Liberation Front members absolutely massacred in Ashore. So, yeah. Although his identity is known, it's like, yeah, that doesn't matter. Although, politically speaking, he was opposed to Osborne. So, of course, he got fired from all of his job and all that and besmirched. No wonder he went to Taoism. S, V, and C. Yeah, V definitely is more of a, would have been in a Jaeger group kind of thing. So we know of one guy's identity. The others, Also, C didn't really need to do much and was just blocking and was just like, we're not strong enough to take on C. It was finally time to peek at the railway cannons. 3:30 in the afternoon. Obviously, they need to focus. They need to understand. If that's audible on the mic, I'm gonna fucking. Whoever the fuck does that outside every single day. Milliam is Milliam. Mother is phoning up about the attack that's just begun at Orcus Tower. Thank goodness for bulletproof glass is the statement that works today. Yeah, they were a bit foolish to do that, considering Arios is there, and several other people are not that bad at fighting a bunch of nameless NPCs. Oh no! Well, that was unfortunate. The C units were clearly... So it looks like someone was able to hack into the terminal to be able to give the order out, and conveniently also managed to get the C units to be obviously programmed by them. Obviously this is an Imperial Liberation Front, but... So... This is unfortunate. Chaosms. Oh no. So there's possibly society involvement. Oh well. We're not going to be able to take on tanks, guys. Thankfully, the 4th Armoured Division with a whole bunch of tanks show up. Well, armoured cars, if they need to be armoured. Classed as that. So thankfully, since they're unmanned, they can handle things a little bit better. And up in the sky are 2 airships. No, that means they have access to 3 airships, because they use one in crossbow. Oh no, the hangar!
Do they seriously think they could reach an impregnable fortress?
Yes, this place is impregnable. Definitely.
Right back at
Oh no, they're dead! And that one got punched.
Alright. Let's get this headed straight for the left railway gun. If anyone gets in our way, fill them full of holes.
Yeah.
What's the Imperial Liberation Front doing here? I thought they were in crossbow.
Well, that is the main attraction. They sure didn't.
And they're dead too now. Well,
Our mission is to support Comrade G over in Crossbell. Our target is up. Let's show him.
good work at that support, fellas. Both sides and the railway guns. And of course, class having a like, no, we gotta help because they're the main characters. You know, we gotta do this stuff. And now we're back at the start of the prologue, where we are about to go through the thing. So we get reminded that it's the 31st of August of 1204. Jump through that bit and just completely skip that because there's no new dialogue there. But we do actually have new stuff here in this scene compared to prologue because of Chromium actually being here. Now there's actually a logical reason as to why prologue is different to this. But that's more on Azure than on Cold Steel's side of things.
They've completely blindsided them. It appears that everything else they've done today was to serve as a decoy.
Right. It looks like, which means they must.
They wouldn't. Oh, maybe so. They're into resorting to such.
This does look kind of bad.
Understatement of the year. Please, let us help. We don't know if reinforcements are on the way. We have to stop them before they can activate the rail.
Green's right.
I don't know how much we can really do, but considering the alternative, we have to. We're about to let those terrorists have their way.
Looks like any attempt to convince you otherwise would fall off. All right. Green, you and the rest of Group A are with me. Group B, you'll be under the command of Major Neidhart.
One group will secure the gun in the right wing. The other group will secure the left. This is an actual combat situation.
Yes, sir. All right, class. Our objective is to stop the activation of the railway gate. We've learned a lot at the academy.
Ow. It's the Sun Barrage of yeah, understood and all that. Also, we now get access to the burst. With 5 bravery points, we'll be able to press square on PlayStation X with an Xbox controller or whatever button on the keyboard, depending on how you are playing this game. You get to do an attack that involves everybody all at once. It will consume all 5 bravery points, but you are dealing more damage. That's the logic put in here. Welcome to Guelia. Warning, this dungeon is actually full on a dungeon and not just a single hallway with a few corners. Also, we now have Instructor Sarah, new party member. 4 is her Master Quartz, and she will always have 4. You cannot remove it in Cold Steel 1. In Cold Steel 2, however, the game does let you remove it. So that's fun, isn't it? Anyway, so yes, we can't spin for the Master Quartz, but they did a little cheaty thing and gave me the ability to do this. Meaning, ladies and gentlemen, we get to do a little thing called go into this bit here. Oh god, it edits the thing because of how that works. Anyway, I've got to go on to the tab, believe it or not, because I'm annoyed that that the source does that. Wait, hold on a second. We got to transform this to first to screen for a moment. Right. Okay, so here we go. We're on Will Decide, and we need to maneuver ourselves across Million Crow Sarah over here to 4. Now, we actually do need to keep in mind that on her 3rd slot is fire, and her 5th and 2nd to last slots are wind. These are and I'm spoiling the fact we're going to be getting another party member later on. Woo! It doesn't matter. Angelica's in Wawa. That's the next chapter. Joining us there for a bit. But I'll talk more about that when we're actually there. And for Angelica, it'll be the same case scenario. We won't be able to edit the Master Quartz at all, and that will remain true for Cold Steel 2. I think we might be able to after, like in the epilogue Weathery Corridor stuff. But anyway, so for Sarah, we need to spin for 5 quartz slots, and we get ad for YouTube Shorts while we're doing this. So her first quartz slot will be time. What will her second be? Head in my bed ain't nothing but time. It's everything, just all time. Fire. Well, actually, no. You know what? This is fine. This is fine. 2 fires on Sarah is fine, because an attack and then possibly an art. Because she has 4. If we got like nothing but wind, that's when I would complain, because she's got a wind Master Quartz. You don't really want to for that. Yeah, that's all right on her. You can put a bit of defense on there, possibly an Earth Pulse or something, just to give her a bit more support arts if you really want to. Hey, we can save up to 50 quid on selected Chromebooks. Going to Curry's Earth again. Okay, we're seeing where things are falling apart at the seams, seeing as Sarah's character will be having in Cold Steel 2 for a whole lot more than this. Fun fact, this is only going to matter for Guerrilla Fortress. This is the only time we're using her. Similar case will be with Angelica next chapter, where we're only going to be using her for like the last part of the thing. Oh, I was finding well, because that was all on my mind. What was it again? Wind. Okay, we got... Okay. So, that's Sarah now. We can do that. So, I now actually shall be keeping this up while in the game, just for the moment while I sort this out. Obviously the fire exclusive slot and the wind exclusive slots, I'm just going to put what makes sense being there. So like the move 1, the fade 1, and attack 3. But her first slot was time, so we can give her the action feedback. That's fine. Then the fire. We'll give her an attack too. Her strength can be really good. Then we get an earth. So, I mean, defensively it's not the worst thing ever for her. It means she might be able to tank a few attacks. And then another earth. 17 vein works fine, since we'll actually be using her. And then we have another wind. Which, to be fair, I don't think there's anything in the wind department I would want to give her. But there is a leg breaker we can put on her. Everyone else, because this is the same group as we had in Legram, we actually don't really need to do much in terms of changing up what people have equipped. That's kind of nice. I like that. Although I do want to upgrade the cast one on Wing quickly to a cast 2. Anyway, right. Anyways, welcome to welcome to Guerrilla for a second time. It's not prologue. We have Million with us, and that's how you're able to tell if you randomly see this bit and be like, oh, okay, what are they doing on a prologue? How has it taken them 40 minutes to get to the first battle? A prologue doesn't occur.
Just like that thing we fought. Mechanical monster. Save the talking for later. We got it. We'll have to fight our way through.
Need to set up the living things. God damn it. Just get going.
And one for me.
Sarah's crafts include Thundering War, a 9% chance to seal, and a speed minus 25% chance to cast. Class B in terms of strength, and an unbalanced plus 10% chance. Lightning Charge, it's a buff for both her strength and speed, a plus 50%, and also 50% evasion due to insight being granted. And Flash Area M, seal of 30%, delay of plus 30, class S of damage, overtakes those with a Lake of Lightning Bolt, and an unbalanced plus 30%. So ultimately, really, actually quite good. You'd be a fool not to use her. Anyways, let's just go butterfly because we can. Can I sucker in more? No, I'm probably not able to. So just do that. I mean, I've sealed all of them, so this fight's just gonna be me slowly killing them. Also, Sarah has an S-craft that does damage, like 99% of all other S-crafts in the game. You really only use it if you really want to just deal a big amount of damage and you think you're going to be KOing the enemy, or you have the 30 serum capsules and powders from playing the PlayStation version / having DLC on PC, which I don't, so yeah, shit.
I'm guessing that's what got the soldiers we just saw.
They definitely look more like orbally powered archaisms than.
So these are.
Yeah, they're a kind of autonomous weapon. We need to hurry, but
Understood.
Million. Anyway, if you did try to head the way that you did initially,
What
the bolts.
looks
No.
like they were packing explosive charges. We'll need to find another route.
Well, I guess we'll have to head this way. Now, I don't know how in the timeline we end up taking. Somehow a larger dungeon means we end up taking less time than when we are able to go the direct route, but okay. Just gonna quit.
And one for me. My turn.
Okay. Here. This is it.
An opening. Well then, left, right.
Hit level 48 with Ween.
Is that a treasure
A
chest?
mine free in this chest. Put it on. Oh no, that's. Make sure you put the mine free on an arts user, because that is just straight up more damage when they use arts.
Now's our chance. Here we go.
Oh, I don't like doing that.
Lights out for them. Good work.
Right, that deals with those enemies. I just realized last part I was also wanting to do like all the Guerrilla. I'm now looking at how much time it's taken to do Guerrilla. You know, maybe I shouldn't have been thinking that, because clearly I don't think I would have been able to.
Leave it to me.
There we have everything. I actually don't want to use up all of Ween's CP fighting all of these enemies. I kind of do want him to have enough for arc slashing the boss later on.
Here we go.
It's my turn. The battle's over, but stay alert, everyone. I'm awesome.
Yes, Milliam, of course you are. Okay, I don't mean to be putting down Milliam. Milliam, but whenever someone goes on about how awesome they are, I just start thinking, yeah, of course they are. Sure. Whatever you say. No, Milliam's cool though. Teasing Wing with a see-through camisole aside, of course. Thankfully, yay, salmon powder! Thankfully though, because of the type of game this is we don't actually see that occur. Other games, and I'm not going to name names because that would just be a list of hentai related stuff, would suddenly show you that, and then I would then be claiming would be in a lot of trouble for doing that. Because, you know, age. But then again, in those types of games, they'd be like, oh, all people depicted are of the age of 18 or more. It's like, yeah, they totally don't look or act or sound like someone younger, definitely not. And then it's just... Degeneracy aside, a lot of these robots are very easy to deal with because they're so easily sealable. I'm going to ponder this, and anyone who sees up to this point on YouTube, tell me, do I sound degenerate? Do I sound like I've lost all the will to care about what I say or do? Because no one gets this far through any of these? Like, maybe I need to actually learn how to edit, which, it's just not worth it. I failed to see the point in it. However, here's another chest which contains an action free. Because I really do feel like that sometimes, where it's like, is it worth like grabbing all of these cold steel parts, edit them together in like a highlight sense? Because I'll never know. So. Hell, considering how often I have like Streamlabs is like, oh, you have 0 viewers. I could easily just be talking to myself all the time. I could just disable the chat box bit and just pretend that there are people talking in the chat, and no one would know any better. And that would kind of be bad, and I wouldn't want to do that. But it's a thing I could do. Could have done. Haven't.
Just getting started.
Savage Fang! It's a delay thing and movement decreasement thing, and I just accidentally pressed LT.
Seems to be a treasure chest here.
Flare Bomb Quartz. Anyways, we are to be heading to the relay area. But you don't need to head straight there. You can also head up here to where the airship is. On this side. The Imperial Liberation Front decide that having their airship explode is a great idea. Well, I mean, if the plan is to just not get back to this specific airship, then I mean they can do that. And now we're back to where we would have been in prologue. Literally just down that hallway is to the fight, to the prologue fight. Inside this was where Quartz vanished. Although vanish doesn't happen unless you're in the higher elements, so it's kind of pointless to equip unless you're in the higher element areas.
just
Level 49. Whoopee. Oh, there's a chest over there, but we can't get to that because we need to go over this way.
Oh, an Ormond charging station.
There's a reminder.
It looks like it leads outside.
probably an external corridor. Everyone, follow me.
That me actors, I just want to make sure people are definitely healed. Okay, so before we enter the cutscene that will lead right into a boss fight between two archaisms that we fought back in the prologue, remember to switch up your team so you've got some of your more delay heavy craft using people. So we want to swap look, it's in possibly, but we want to swap out for Gaius. I believe is the best option because of Savage Fan. Set your links however you desire. It really doesn't matter how it is. I think all the link levels at this point will be too low to really matter too much. Outside of maybe if you do start casting arts to swap in users and have them linked to them, because I think he has art support. He might not have art support in this game. At a lower level he might have. It might be COD still free. I'm thinking of onwards. So yeah, just like in prologue, we're now here at the cannons. As they are about to actually fire on a crossbow, oh dear lord, no! Not my precious SSS, they're about to get blown to smithereens! Wait, hang on, I've played it sure. That doesn't happen.
Sure.
Damn. How did they manage to get... Don't tell me they're just gonna...
Are these control?
No, they're certainly not.
Don't we need to take...
Right there.
Let's send these...
It's a fight. My turn.
Anyway, as with prologue, the best strategy is to just move Reen to a side and start spamming Arc Slash, while everyone else just does whatever delay moves they have and just delay these enemies.
Leave it to me.
Enemies to such an extent that they'll never get a turn.
Right.
And then whoever else you happen to have on the party can do whatever else. Like, Laura has Armor Breaker, might be worth doing it so that the defense down occurs. I should have pressed X, I wasn't paying attention, I just muscle memory press A. And if it wasn't for where we move Reen, I would say maybe use Motivate. If you have La Forte on anyone, I would also recommend that might be an option, just to speed up the fight. Not that you're gonna need it, just it would be helpful to do so. Let's burst.
Right. Shatter.
My turn.
Leave it to me. Didn't see that coming.
Leave it to me.
Oh, I'm done. Oh well.
Go. Go.
My turn. Shatter. Okay. Didn't see that coming.
My turn.
It's my turn.
Here we go.
No, I want Arc Slash. Right.
Leave it to me. Didn't see that coming. My turn.
Let's just do him.
Come on, Lammy.
No real reason other than just, we can.
Here we go. Go.
All right.
Actually, it's a good option as well, because Bruce Long can cause faint, which just means you have a high chance of getting a crit, which means a higher chance of actually getting more bravery points. And actually I'm going to switch to someone else because I was basically when I was stuff. Oh yeah, we have Quartz Crusade. Might as well cast that then. Oh, we're not wasting the bravery points at this conjunction. I think at this point it's been delayed so much we could just spam attack at this point. Brave has reached level 4, which means Ghost now has La Forte and starts with more strength in battle. More tons of it, and gains more stuff, and my throat's killing me.
That should suffice. A self-destruct mechanism. Is the cowardice know no bounds?
We're running out of time. Follow me as soon as you're sure it's safe to.
Sarah was about to run off until, oh dear, it would appear that it appears we're too late.
Railway gun.
No,
No, those people, the two people we care about, and then Osborne, no. Well, I should have said Oliver instead. No, they're all going to die. Get out of here, sure, get out. And then Falcon White, and then of course the Falcon Waiters are like, that won't be necessary. As it turns out, actually no, they don't get blown up. Turns out a day. Turns out the first bullets were perfectly just not there. So the prologue just kind of is pointless, even if you haven't played any of the previous games. It's like, no, bad things are going to happen. Bad things don't happen. Hey. My throat's tapping out. My throat is actually tapping out. I have to end it here. Next time we'll finish Corellia and I'll try and actually do more. My apologies. My apologies. I want to do more than an hour. I love playing this game. I really do. But I don't know. My body just can't do it. My body's just refusing to. And it annoys me because I know I can play games for longer than this. I know I can. See you next time.